I saw my taxes going up and up and up. They couldn't give me good roads or good schools. So instead of complaining about it on the sidelines, I decided to jump in the game to try to change it.
Hello and welcome to the 52nd ALEC annual meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Lars Saleside, and joining me right now is Assistant Minority Leader John Cabello.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Cabello, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm getting it right?
I wish it was Cabela.
Cabela?
The store, but it's not.
That would be a nice retirement account.
It would be. It would be.
So you're one of the few folks overall that comes to these conferences that you're sitting in the minority.
Super.
A super minority. It's like, do you just sort of show up to the office and eat your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and call it a day, or
Nope.
How does the super minority act?
We still fight like hell, and that's what we have to do. I mean, people tell us we can't do anything, and we fight and we fight and we fight and we hold them accountable, because that's what the minority's job is, to hold the majority accountable. So we come in and we fight like hell, because that's what we have to do.
And how long has the Republican Party been in the super minority? I'd assume it's been in the minority for a while in Illinois.
The super minority, I would say probably the last 6 years, and then we were in just the minority before that. So,
but it's always been a heavily Democratic state.
I've been in since 12, and we've never had anything more than 47 out of 118. So, yeah, it's definitely a Democratic state with the way the maps are drawn.
Right.
And we had a fair map amendment that we got millions of signatures for. Mike Madigan brought it to court. He appointed, pretty much got all the Supreme Court judges elected, and they found it to not be constitutional and threw it out.
Well, what are the odds? Lord knows we've seen some of the headlines recently with that gentleman.
Yeah.
But I digress. We'll go into the other side of things. So then, as we were talking to other legislators, spoke with one gentleman from New Jersey, and he said, obviously, there he is a super minority as well, and the main thing they try to do is make sure things aren't as bad as they could be. And is that the similar approach that you're taking? You're trying to round off the edges for some of these horrible, horrible things, or is there actually any sort of legislation that's getting passed?
No. So the majority party does not include us in anything in any way, shape, or form. So they just put the bills into committee, they put them on the board for votes. So what we have to do is we have to get the grassroots, we have to get the folks that it's going to hurt most ginned up about it and say, you know that this is coming. We need your help to stop this. And that's how we get things done. And we've had, there was a homeschool bill that they were trying to make some drastic changes to. Thank God the homeschool community came, and actually we had the most people in history at the State House, and it finally got the bill to stop. So we need help because we don't have the numbers, so we rely on the folks that it's going to impact the most.
Well, it's interesting when you think about it overall, as you were saying, they don't include you. They don't really care about you. They've got their agenda. They're going to push it through. Now, they could push it through whether or not the homeschool folks liked it or not as well, because they're the only game in town, as it were. So it's interesting that they would actually listen to this. So I'm sure the homeschoolers could gather together and get rid of a few of those folks, but...
So I believe they got scared. They saw that all those folks in the Capitol, and they got scared that, this is really getting people to come out. Then, we had some of the minority communities realize that, wait a minute, the CTA, the Chicago Teacher Union's president, is sending their kids to private school.
Remember that, yes.
And so it finally, people I think are finally waking up in Illinois. They complain and they have every right to complain. But we tell them that elections have consequences, and the only way we're going to change it is by getting people to elect more Republicans. So it's much more difficult right now because you have a multi-billionaire governor who is spent, as much as I know, $400 million in the state of Illinois just on elections.
Whoa.
Then you have the unions that would normally fund the governor's race.
Right.
They don't have to worry about spending money on the governor's race, so that all then goes down ballot. So that's one of the reasons why we're having a real hard time trying to pick up some seats. I'm hoping that we don't lose any this time around, but we're going to be outspent 20-1.
Wow, I have been in those campaigns before, and people are like, well, why aren't you? It's like, can you see this mountain ahead of me? This is an incredible thing to have to climb. Well, with all of this going on, then what got you into the politics in the first place? What dream is like, you know what, this seems to be an impossible task. There's a little, what is it, Sisyphus inside of you? I've got to roll it up the hill.
Well, I'm a policeman.
Yeah.
That's what I do for a living, and you don't give up. I mean, being a policeman's a lifestyle, and you go out there and you do the best you can for the community that you serve. I saw my taxes going up and up and up. They couldn't give me good roads or good schools, so instead of complaining about it on the sidelines, I decided to jump in the game to try to change it. So that's what got me in. Once I got in, I realized it's pretty difficult to change anything in the state of Illinois because of the Democrat stronghold.
The way the machine is, yeah.
But, you know, we can't give up. We owe it to the people that pay for everything, the taxpayers that pay my salary, that are making it by a sliver
Right.
for me to go down there and fight. And we have a lot of other Republicans that are doing the same thing. And, you know, you get those folks that are like, well, if you know you're not going to be able to do anything, you know that there's no way of changing things, you have insurmountable odds, why do you do it? Those reasons, but then also, weren't they telling those that same scenario to the guys that stormed the beach?
Yeah.
If they can sacrifice all that, I can sacrifice some time to go down there and beat my head against the wall and try to change things.
Yeah, what's the little embarrassment?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. So, when are the next round of elections? When's the next statewide elections in Illinois?
So, we start August 5th getting signatures to be on the April primary ballot to be on the following November 26th.
Okay, and then we're voting in 26, and how are we feeling? Are the numbers going to shift a little? Are you going to get out of the super and just be the minority?
Again, I think we're going to get outspent
20-1.
I mean,
that is just unbelievable.
Pritzker is going to make sure that he has a safe path and a platform because he's walking to be president. So, you know, it's he's going to do everything he can. He'll spend the money. He's shown that he spent the money. He's shown that he's going to spend the money, and he's been spending it all around the nation as well.
That's very interesting when you think about it overall, because Lord knows he has been mentioned time and again as a potential candidate.
Luckily for everybody, I mean, he's polling at 2%.
Yeah. But like you said, he's got the money to burn, so.
Correct. But I think what we see going on the far left, he's got some major issues. Number one, he's a billionaire. Number two, he talks about everybody paying their fair share, yet he takes toilets out of one of his mansions to not pay taxes. He hides a lot of his money over in the Caymans, where he's not paying taxes. So we'll make sure that all this comes out to light. I think, you know, hopefully we'll get a decent candidate to run against him on the Republican side. But you know, our job is to make sure, because we can't stop him, I don't believe, from being governor, we can make sure that people know who he is if he's running for president.
Yeah, while he might be on the path to, that's an entirely different stage to step upon than the one that he's doing in Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah, and I mean, he's had Hillary Clinton's campaign manager,
Mooks, or
I don't remember.
Is it Robbie or is it Jennifer?
It's somebody that's been back from the 2016 campaign. He's been having that person on.
There was Jennifer Palmieri.
I think it's a female. So it may be the Jennifer.
Right.
But he's got one of her campaign folks on staff, on his campaign staff. So we've known for a long time that he's going to be doing this. So.
Well, you know, the downside on that, of course, is people talk about how when you do have the senator, the governor that makes the move in the run for president, that everything else that's happening there in their state starts to fall by the wayside. Because I've got to be more worried about the people in Iowa, Georgia, New Mexico, and Arizona right now than I necessarily do in Illinois, because I'm going to assume that they're already in my pocket, and I just got to go out and get all the rest of them.
Man, if the state of Illinois goes down any further than it already is, we're in more serious trouble than I thought.
Well, I mean, if he ignores the people of Illinois, maybe that could be a good thing.
Yeah, well, he's been doing that for a long time. I mean, he just takes more and more of their tax dollars, so they're a tool for him, and it's making sure that they've got all the money they can to spend.
Well, and it's a horrible tale. You hate hearing it overall about the different states that are suffering through this in the minority side. But we did bring some of you folks together with our blue state conference recently, I believe in your home state. Weren't they in Chicago?
It was in Chicago. I had to make sure and say it right.
But yeah, so we had a bunch of our representatives that come from the predominantly blue states gather in Chicago to talk about some of the issues that they're dealing with, like yourself sitting in the minority.
Correct. Unfortunately, I was not there. I asked which one they wanted me to go to. They had me go to Nashville for the Judicial Academy.
Well, what would you tell folks overall, like in the minority, what's the top one or two things that you got to get ready for when the legislative season starts?
Well, you can't lose your fight. You got to make sure and have that fight in your belly, because that's number one. You got to stand up. You got to fight. You got to fight for what's right. You got to fight for the people that pay for everything, the taxpayers. Two, get a little strategic about it. So if you know that there are certain bills coming up, make sure that you put the Democrats that are maybe in a district that isn't in favor of that on notice or watching. We've got to start doing things different. We've got to start looking at this as a battle plan, and not just we're going to win the war. No, you got to go through battles before you get to and win the war. So I think those are things that we need to do. Our strategy needs to be much better. Everybody's messaging has got to be nailed down, getting real close to being the same. And we understand that, like in Chicago area, we have Republicans that can't vote for certain things that everybody downstate can.
Sure.
So, the messaging is got to change a little bit, but I think, you got to be pretty close. So I think those couple of things will help immensely.
All right. Well, Assistant Minority Leader John Cabellas. I keep on wanting to go that direction. From the great state of Illinois, I appreciate you taking some time with us here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more from the 52nd annual meeting here in Indianapolis.